Hey guys, we're back. Today we're coming at you with a few cases from the company ESR for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and some of these cases have a little trick up their sleeve. So let's get right into it. So first, here we have it. We have a soft case with a stash stand. That's the silicone case. We have a clear frosted flick stand case that has a little kickstand. And then we have the tough case with the stash stand. So let's start off with the soft case. That's my favorite of all these, but stick around for the rest. So let's get right into it. Just some paperwork in the bag. Don't need that stuff. And right off the top, you have a nice microfiber lining on the inside of this case. It's the Halo Lock magnetic case from ESR, Tech Made Easier. So flip it around. We have a design that's like almost kind of is a texture for the MagSafe ring. Maybe that gives it a stronger connection. I don't know, we'll test out and see. And then it's also got a little stand. Hides right in there in the camera ring. So let's get it on here. We got the black titanium iPhone 16 Pro Max, and just slides right on there, and bam, you got a nice camera guard, even says camera guard right there around the lens, giving it some nice protection. But you got that stand, so you can prop it up, watch your videos, do whatever you need to do, and it's not going to obstruct the actual MagSafe ring. So that's a plus. So say you're charging with the MagSafe puck. We got one right here. It's not plugged in, but you can still watch your shows while you're charging up through MagSafe or through the USB. Or say you have a MagSafe battery. I mean, this one has a stand on it, but say if you had like the Apple one, or if Apple released the Apple one again, then you can still watch your videos, do whatever you need to do. You got some standby mode going on with that, so props it up perfectly. Bam. So that's the little magic trick about this case, is that ring or stand that's built right into the camera ring. And that MagSafe is pretty tough as well. So let's throw something on there. We have a Mophie 10,000 milliamp MagSafe battery bank. This thing is like almost 300 grams. Let's do a little shake test. Comes off, but I shook that pretty good. So, I mean, these rings are pretty strong, or the magnets in the rings. So nice. Let's stick that out the way. And the buttons on here, they're raised really high. I don't know if you could tell that, but they protrude. And right now, since I've only used this case for like a week, they do have a little edge to them. That might soften up a bit since this is silicone, but they are tactile, they are clicky, so they are nice, but they stick out quite a bunch. So if you like that, then you'd be cool with this one. And they actually have a cutout around the camera control, which I don't know where I'm at still on this. I think I like it with the cutout so I can actually touch the physical button. We do have a ton of cases now, mostly by Apple and now some third parties, that do wrap the case around it and have some little magic crystals where that button goes, so that you can still touch it with a capacitive button. But I like to actually just feel it in there. For me, this is the best option, and I can get in there, I can move things around, I can zoom in, and then take photos or videos. So that's how I like it. I'm glad that they didn't have the pill cutout on this one. For me, that's perfect. But I don't know. Everybody seems to have a completely different opinion compared to the next person on that. But that's how I like it, because I like to use my thumb anyhow. But let's go to the bottom. You see the cutouts are perfect for the speakers and the USB-C port. So you're not going to have any issues plugging in. I have like this right angled Thunderbolt cable. Sticks right in. So with that big cutout, I don't think you're going to run into too many cables that you're not going to be able to plug into. So that's this one. This I got on Amazon. It was $27.99. You can pick that up in green, black, and a tan. They also have what they call the hybrid case, which is just a clear case if you don't like the silicone. This is for the regular Pro, so I can't throw it on here. But this one's gonna be a little bit cheaper. They got a ton of colors in the clear case, like straight clear. They got a clear black, a clear gray, a frosted black, and a frosted pink as well. But the silicone one, this is coming in at 50 grams. So it's a pretty light case. You're not going to notice it too well. And the actual silicone has a nice texture to it. It's not too tacky, but it's also not too smooth. It's like perfect right in the middle. So I do recommend this one, $27.99 if you're into silicone cases. Apple has a ton of them, a ton of different colors, but they're 50 bucks. $27.99. Some of the colors might be a little cheaper, and it might differ on when you actually watch this video. So that's what the prices are today. So a silicone case with a kickstand. I like it. But let's get on into the next one. All right, now we got the flick stand. So this is just a clear case that also has some paperwork in there. I guess it don't even really need to see that stuff, but it's there. Got a bag, and this has a kickstand built into it, but it's a little bit different. It doesn't go around the camera cutout. This one is going to be just down at the bottom. So still got the MagSafe ring, frosted back to this one, and the black sides. So let's get this one on. Siri doing her thing. But bam. So with the black titanium, I think this looks absolutely gorgeous. And that kickstand on here is more for a vertical shot. So if you want to be scrolling TikToks and doing all that, or Reels, Instagrams, whatever you do, you know, you can keep that going. So that's what I think this is made for, because, you know, a lot of people are just watching TikToks now. Not everybody's watching their content landscape mode. If you are watching a YouTube video, you're watching it like this. But if you're watching shorts, Reels, TikToks, you want it up here. Also for FaceTime calls as well. Even though with this angle, you might get that double chin action. At least I do. You know, don't want to speak for everybody. But so that's really cool, except for if you are using, say, a MagSafe battery pack that doesn't have a kickstand like this one does, then, you know, you're kind of screwed when it comes to, you know, trying to prop it up and watch something. So it just depends on, you know, when you're using this thing. I mean, you could always still plug in and watch vertically, but if you're horizontal, you're left with no juice. But this battery lasts for so dang long that might not even matter for you. But it does still have a nice camera guard on it. Still says camera guard. And it's got some nice protection around that lens, or lenses. So coming around to the side, the buttons are a little bit different. They actually have like those slits in them, where they're just integrated into the case, and you can actually click them. Get out of there. So they're raised up a little bit, not as high as that silicone one was, but they're still tactile and they still get the job done. Off to the camera control. This has a pill cutout. So different than how they treated, you know, that cutout for the silicone case. This is my least favorite option of what we've seen so far. I mean, it still works, but I hate that material right there is so thin that we can just press down on it. I don't want to be thinking about it while I'm trying to take a shot on if I press the button or if I'm just pressing this plastic down. So for me, that's why I'm not too, you know, happy with the pill cutout. It still works. I can still get around it, but I just don't want to be thinking about it while I'm trying to capture a memory. But that's just me. Around the corners here, we have some little air pockets for some more edge drop protection. They say this case, as well as the silicone, is 3 times the military grade protection, so they can handle some, you know, pretty big drops. I haven't tested that theory out, and I don't know what it means to have military grade protection, because every single case that you see nowadays says it. So do your own research, and that's this one. So the flick stand case, this one was $23.99 and it's 54 grams, so a little bit heavier than the silicone. I was actually surprised about it just because that cutout around the lens for the kickstand seems heavier than this one does, even though they're both metal. Tad bit heavier, not that big of a deal. But this one not only comes in this frosted black, but also a clear case back with the black edges, and then just a completely clear. So not as many options as the stash stand with the different clear and silicone options, but still a few nonetheless. So that was the flick stand by ESR, and let's get into the next one. Oh, real quick, we got to test the magnets. So this one, still really good. They say this has 1,500 grams of holding force to ensure a secure lock with the MagSafe accessories, and I'd say it passed. All right, so flick stand, let's get into the next one. All right, guys, last one. This is the tough case with the stash stand. So this is what they're calling their Cyber Series, and this has 7 times military grade protection, like we went over in the last one. I don't know what that means, but they're saying this has 23 feet of military grade drop protection. So let's get into this one. Got all that paperwork. Get out the way. We even got some foam in here. We didn't get that on the last one, but this is a tough guy. So right off the bat, it says military grade protection. Again, it's not the thickest material, but it is just a rubber backing for like shock protection on the back plate. And this is a 2-part case, so you can pull that out. You got a nice silicone-y rubber texture on the inside, and then a harder material on the outside. So you also have that same design, that texture design on the MagSafe ring, although, you know, this was kind of more embossed or debossed. This one you can feel it, this one is just embedded in there. So I would think that the one that actually sticks out is better, and this looks more just like a design piece to me. But this has a closure for the USB-C port, and this has that stash stand. So let's get this one on and get right into it. This one's a little harder to get on because of the two-piece with a biscuit, and makes it kind of funky getting around that bottom. But we're in with a pill cutout. Again, this is like even flimsier because this is that inner silicone piece. Not liking that. Still works, but again, that's just like makes my thumb want to press that part down. Maybe it's different with, you know, using your finger. It's not as bad, but I've gotten accustomed to using my thumb and really trying to, you know, grip the phone and take a picture with that awkward button. But anyhow, we got another button that protrudes pretty well. It's tactile, so it works pretty well. Same with the up and down volume rocker and the action button. We got some more heavy duty pieces here around the corners. And again, that cutout for the USB-C port, that might, or the cover, I should say, that might be harder to, you know, really get some heavier duty cables in there. We got this angled Thunderbolt port. Let's see if we can get this in. No, so that won't work. But what about the backside of this? Just a normal Thunderbolt. And that one does work. So it's still built wide enough to where, you know, you can get some heavier duty cables in there if you need to. And then you have the speaker cutouts, and you actually have a little grill on them. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that's probably to keep dust out. This is more like, I don't know, when you're, say, mountain bike riding, they're spinning this one more to, you know, somebody that's really heavily outdoors. But in my opinion, even though these, you know, these MagSafe rings are pretty strong, for something this heavy, and if you're going to do something as gnarly as like mountain bike riding, you're not going to want to mount that with MagSafe, in my opinion. You want to get one of those like quad lock things that like twists and keeps your phone secure. I still wouldn't trust the MagSafe on something like that. But a car ride, yeah, sure. Still got the stash stand, so that works perfectly in this case. And we already went over that a bunch, so I'm not going to get too into detail, but again, you have some nice protection around the lenses. So that's this case's magic power, is the stash stand, as well as the, I guess you could say, the 23-foot drop protection if you want to throw it out of something. But another big deal for this case is right now while I'm filming, this case is normally $26.99. I'm seeing it on sale for just under $23. So a lot of these heavier duty cases, if that's what you're really into, those auto boxes and things like that, those are like 50, 60, 75 bucks. So to get a case this heavy duty at this price, under 23 bucks, 27 regularly, that's a freaking steal. So if you're into something like this, it does weigh 82 grams. So for me, that's just a little bit too heavy. I'm in Southern California, even though it's October, it's still hot as hell. So I'm wearing like basketball shorts a lot of the times, and I don't want something that heavy in my pockets. But that's just me. So this case comes in a few colors. This is the green, but you can also get a navy, a rose gold to match that desert titanium. You can get a gray to match the natural titanium, and also black. I went with green just because that seems to be the color this year. You can get green in the silicone case. I've shown off a few other green cases so far, and I have a few more from Mouse that I want to make a video on. But that's it for the ESRs. So overall, they're all really good cases. I prefer the silicone with that cutout and just the feel of it and the stash stand, but all really great premium pricing, or I shouldn't say premium pricing, you're getting a premium product for a really great price. And that's kind of what ESR is all about. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, share this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, it's Buck Life. Peace.